You have three choices when your dishwasher starts leaking like crazy. You can either call in a repair. Usually you'll get away with maybe $500. You can buy a new one for about $1,000, $1,100. Or you can try this technique. At a minimum, you should just get your dishwasher out of the kitchen if it's flooding, because you don't want to destroy your floor. Set it up somewhere where it's safe to work on. At the very least, it'll give you a chance to clean out all the grunge where this was sitting. And also, it'll give you a chance to set things up if you decide to get a replacement unit. When you do take your dishwasher out and put it in a place that's convenient to work on, you'll notice there are feet on the bottom, the front and the rear. These are adjustable. You have to have these adjusted so that your dishwasher is level with the force of gravity, not the way your floor sits, but actually level. Otherwise, water will run the risk of coming out the front of the dishwasher, and you don't want that. Also, when you have the dishwasher out like this, it makes it so much easier to check on all points of leakage. It can leak here at the outlet. It can leak here where the water is actually put into the dishwasher. It can leak at the top where there's another hose for water inlet. It can leak around all of the seals, the door seals, the side seals, and the lower seal here. You can also check, clean, and lubricate these hinges. These hinges are kept under tension, and you need to make sure your springs aren't broken. You can have a spring broken on one side or the other. Here's another area that can cause leakage. It can cause an overflow. This essentially is the well at the bottom of the dishwasher that collects all the water, and the main pump circulates it through spray bars of various kinds. But the problem is that many people don't know they have a filter that fits on there. Over time, that filter becomes clogged. If it gets clogged, you'll have a situation where you'll just pump more and more and more water into the system, and you'll overflow. And not only that, but you will just have horribly dirty dishes. So this system has a double filter. It's got this one, and it's got an extra fine filter also. So you must regularly remove these and clean them thoroughly. Put them back in, your dishwasher will work better. Another point of leakage is the vent cover. The vent cover unscrews. And when it comes unscrewed, water can enter the inside of the door and then drain out the bottom. You want to just give this a quick check. Maybe the most important thing to understand is that the bottom of the dishwasher is essentially a pan. It has a lip at the front. Here, that's a metal lip, and water usually cannot spill over the edge because the level is kept correct. In other words, the pumps and the sensors and the valves that let water in do not overfill. In this case, this dishwasher overflowed at the front a lot because one of the valves failed. So let's take a look at that. These are about $30. They fail so frequently that the manufacturer puts them at the front of the dishwasher, and the manufacturer also hides them with the beauty panel here. You can remove that with two little screws and access it. Remove these two screws, remove the pipe connections, put the new part on, which is what I'm going to do. After I put this part on, I'm going to run several cycles out here in this garage so that we know it's not leaking anymore, and that's going to work. If you notice, there's another point of electrical failure right here. All of the wiring from all the on-off controls here on the control panel run down the door, and they have to go into the main area of the dishwasher. The problem is you're going to open and close this door thousands and thousands of times. If the manufacturer does not put a good cushion around those wires, they'll break. Many other manufacturers don't do this. The wires begin to break and you get failures that occur over time. Essentially, you have to replace the dishwasher just because they didn't put a cushion on. Let's look at some other points of failure. This is the main pump. This hose can come loose. That can crack. That causes a slow leak. The bottom sump can crack. It's made out of plastic. The ejector pump can crack, or this hose can come loose, or it can get a crack in the hose. So all these things you have to look for evidence of leakage. And again, when it's sitting on a concrete floor or up on a stand, you can see this, and it's easy to address. The last part, and maybe the most important part, is that a failure on your dishwasher can actually kill you. Construction codes require you to put a plug, it's called a pigtail, onto your electrical box that supplies power to the dishwasher. Well, the problem is a lot of installers or home builders, when they put these in, they leave out this little part right here. It's a 50-cent part. This is sheet metal, and it is very sharp. And if they just let the wires go straight in, the insulation rubs on the sheet metal and it shorts through. If you do not have a good circuit breaker, it's possible to touch this or the metal body of the dishwasher and you'll get an electrical shock. So at a minimum, what you want to make sure of on an installation, if the installer is in your home, make sure they put in one of these protectors that holds the wire, and make sure they put a plug in like this. And there's a complementary plug on the other side. But that has to be done right, or there can be problems. Dishwashers also have a pressure sensor that can fail. The way it can fail is that the wires can become disconnected from it. This pressure hose can become disconnected here. The hose can break somewhere along the way, or the other end of the pressure hose can be disconnected from its attachment point here. This attachment point senses the pressure of water at the bottom of the pump basin. It's a very small amount of pressure, and it's air pressure at this point. So this tube carries air pressure, and we can test it. All right, so let's test this pressure sensor. I have the contacts connected to an ohm meter. 1 means no contact, 0 means contact. I have the pressure line, the air pressure line, hooked up to a way to give it pressure. You will hear the pressure sensor clicking on and off as I supply pressure. So since we were getting contact here, we could hear it, and we could also see the electrical contact here. We know this sensor works. What it's doing when it's getting pressure, it's supplying a signal over these two contacts to the rest of the dishwasher. This is the outside of the inlet, and that is the inside of the inlet where water comes into your dishwasher. It's important to make sure that the water level is correct in your dishwasher so that you either don't overflow at the front or that you have enough water to clean your dishes. So it is possible to adjust the level of water you get. The factory spec on metal type dishwashers is 1/2 of an inch below the electric heating element. So let's take a look. Here is the level device. And if you'll notice, there's a little adjusting screw in the back of it to get higher water level. So you can go clockwise, just a fraction, to get an extra inch on the inside. So we have had success with our garage test technique here. We have got water supply here from the garden hose. We've got the water outlet here. It's got to be raised at some point to make sure your levels are correct inside of the dishwasher. Everything's running fine. We don't have any more leakage that we had before. The bad part has been found and replaced. This is, as I said, a $30 part. So I hope this has helped. A lot of people are facing this same problem today with these older dishwashers. They do wear out, but they are fixable. Good luck.